I'm gonna go last. I want to go last ahead of you guys because everything I say is fucking quiz the apple.
Okay.
How are
I'll
you,
go.
Mauricio?
All good, all good. Yeah, yeah. Looking interesting. I was looking at the market this morning. Looks okay though.
Horrifying weekend that started to look okay, right?
Yep.
I guess the lesson is those big crashes are nearly always closer to the end than the beginning. Like they might not be at the end, but generally, if you can avoid it, you don't want to sell into those.
Definitely. Now, and the fact that yeah, I'm seeing a lot of exchange balances. Like the exchange balances look okay. You know what I
They
mean?
look
So
okay.
yeah, we'll go over.
Okay, who's going first?
Yeah,
Go
yeah.
for it, Ian.
I like to start with the wiggly lines. So what I thought would be interesting here is there's three charts up, and I can go into them individually, is just to have a look at the relationship between the three charts. So if we start on the left, we're looking at the monthly chart. And I like to think of this as the most relaxed chart. There's the least amount of noise on this chart, and it can help put things in perspective, maybe if you're spending a lot of time on the lower time frames. So without any names, without trying to be clever with any lines or anything like this, we've got one line that represents the halving. And as these candles have played out, we've then gone, okay, well, we can have a line there and we can have a line there.
I think those are the two like critical levels here.
Absolutely. And then, it takes a while when you keep hearing Scott go, if we're here, we're unequivocally, and if we're here, we're unequivocally. But then the more you look at this, the more you simplify it, you can say, well, okay, then, if we get a monthly close above this line, and maybe we get a retest, then unequivocally, bang, we are bullish. If it happens the other way, then we are bearish.
And FinRev is committed full bearish right now. So FinRev is a suspicious motherfucker. My spot bags, I'm still wildly bullish.
I agree. It's interesting, yeah, how everything because obviously the FinRev is doing well at the moment, but I think it's going to start shifting on it could start shifting on the next week. It could, or it could just remain like that. Like I have some
FinRev
theories.
is reactive, not active. So FinRev is not. FinRev is things are going down. We're going to bet on continued downside continuation. Whereas I think, speaking for all of us, we've got generally the default opinion that we're in a bull market, and that a bull market should make us whole, and that buttercup, it's going to be okay, kind of thing.
Interesting, isn't it? How if you listen to the tone of the conversation, you could even say that the word uncertainty is in the air. And what's interesting about that is like, this is what the market is. Behind these candles, there's fear, there's greed, and there's uncertainty in there as well. So we're getting close to this middle section of this range. So I think we're going to retest this middle section of the range. We could get a nice bounce and then just carry on in the top half of the range.
Well, we are in the middle. We are in the middle section of the range right now, right?
We are, yeah, we are literally. Because if we then say if we shift down and go to this weekly one, which I can make a little bit bigger, then we can really focus on the range, and we can look a bit more as to what is happening in the range. So we got this really great candle close that's happened here with this long wick. So we come down and we had a little look. But
so if it bounces right here, right now, that's quite bullish. If we get another close lower next week, that's a significant tilt towards the bearish side.
Absolutely, because we've been hanging about in the top half of this range, and I think there's two clearly defined sections of this range.
Agreed.
And people are people are happier if we're in that top half of the range. We drop into the bottom half of the range, literally getting shaken out of the market. Literally what it is. Well, I don't like it now. I don't like it. And then I've got a line drawn out here of 56,000. where this great big wick come down to. So 56,000 is not off the table as a number if we keep going down. And so I don't think our analysis in any way changes. Like, you know, if we close above that line, we're off. If we close above the middle part of the range and we bounce, great, everybody's going to be feeling a bit better.
So the other side of this is it's not just Bitcoin. Take a look at Ethereum. We got a short squeeze in place there because everyone uber bearish in Ethereum. And we've got this weird situation where Bitcoin is still fucking the all-time highs are what, 72, and we're at 66. It's not the end of the fucking world. Like grow up. But altcoins are like devastated. And the middle coins have held up surprisingly well. It's just very, very weird action.
It is. And the volatility seems to be coming out of the market as well. Like this is on the daily chart and we can see the higher low forming. And then if we think of that black line as price is just too heavy and it's just pushing down and creating this lower high. Oops.
There's been some talk that a lot of this is the basis trade from institutionals. They're shorting perps and going long the going long the new ETFs, the spot ETFs, and going short the instead of the short the CME futures like they used to do, they're wearing the counterparty risk and going short on Binance and Bybit. And that's adding to selling pressure in the perps. That's the operating theory right now that most people have. That basis trade is that basis trade at 20% or whatever is very attractive for a directional free.
Yeah, I hear about that. Yep.
Because
it is a good theory.
The counterparty risk isn't what it was. Like the counterparty risk 2 years ago, there was FTX risk. I don't think we have that same FTX risk, but I think the market is priced in. You know, which exchange could do another FTX? I don't think another one could. Not a major one anyway.
Now, especially now with all the exchanges publicly showing their balances.
Exactly so.
So you can actually track that quite easily to see where their balances are. Just like KuCoin, right? KuCoin went in a couple of months ago. You know, KuCoin, the owner, got charged with money laundering and stuff like that, and everybody get panic and start getting money out of KuCoin and stuff like that. But it's still alive. You can actually see all the balances and stuff like that. You can see the balances drop on KuCoin on that day, and then now it's coming back up. So it's getting stronger on that regard, on transparency, I think, in terms of the whole crypto market on some of the biggest changes.
Great. So Ian, what's your overall? You're bullish a little way up and you're bearish a little way down, right?
Yeah, I really want to see around this kind of 64,000 level. That's roughly about the middle of the range. I'd like to see what reaction we get if price goes as low as that.
Okay. Maurizio, what do you think? And what are you liking?
Let me show you. Let me just share my screen.
Okay, so Marlon makes a good point. I thought ETF inflows were supposed to be bullish, and so did everyone else. So this is something we have to take into account. Like there was several bits of extremely bullish news at the highs, which couldn't push us over. That was the clue in retrospect, that we had bullish news that the market couldn't make new highs. Really good point, Marlon.
And that's kind of the thing that I'm looking at. So
you saw the open interest start to go before the price went. Like if you go down to those lows, see how the open interest started to build while it was going? That's your clue.
Definitely. One thing that I was looking on Friday. So on Friday, I was looking at the inflows, ETFs inflows. On Friday it looked good, but then over the weekend, the inflows started getting not that great, right? So obviously
those are 3 days delayed, so you won't get the inflows.
Yeah. There you go. So that's right. Okay. In terms of what I'm looking at in the balances, in the balances, right? This is the Bitcoin exchanges, balance on exchanges. It was looking really good. Now, sort of starting getting some people starting getting putting some Bitcoin on the exchange, but I don't know if that's gonna hold up. So, but in terms of the trend, it looks pretty solid. Like I'm just keep looking at this, and it's
So
not a massive influx.
I don't think we can take into account. I don't think we can read this on a straight reading of it basis, because we've got a lot of we've got a lot of these yield farming type plays that are very, very attractive. The Pendlefire, the Eigenlayer, the ENA.
Oh yeah, but this
So-
is Bitcoin. But this is Bitcoin. But obviously, yeah, that will affect in Ethereum, because a lot of people are staking, right? So I'm actually researching for a good staking dashboard to see how much Ethereum is staked at the moment. But then that's basically what might be happening. You know, people taking stuff from the exchanges and putting it into staking, right?
Well, I
Which
think
is
it's not a
attractive.
retail driven market, so it's people looking for yield.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So yeah, in terms of what I'm looking at, on the week, like the weekly looks pretty okay-ish. Like like it's
Yeah,
still
we got
holding
this,
pretty
okay.
well from like. Obviously, we had a whole weekly retracement on Bitcoin, but have a look at Ethereum. So the retracement on Ethereum looks pretty solid, like from the
Yeah, if you
from
zoom
the
out on Ethereum, that looks like exactly the point that you'd want to buy.
exactly like from the weekly perspective, just closed 10 minutes ago. So it looks pretty solid. What I think happened this week is pure leverage plays. You know what I mean? People
Right.
getting out, like manipulations, more
Well,
than likely.
it's not manipulations. It's forced and constrained sellers. So
Right. Okay.
I was a forced and constrained seller. I was long Ethereum.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
I was forced to get out, not because I didn't like the trade, just because if I kept up that trade, I could have been liquidated and I couldn't take that risk. So I had to sell out at a bad price. Did I get a good price? No, the price is higher than it was when I sold out. So I got fucked because I was a forced and constrained seller. It's the sort of thing that pushes prices far from fair value. So I think we can reasonably say that last week prices were pushed far from fair value.
I agree. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. But the fact that you know, at certain points, start pushing the price down, you know what I mean? There's a heavy sellers market, right? And obviously it's gonna force a lot of people to sell on that regard, or close their positions on leverage positions, right?
So we don't have any more forced selling until we get to the low of that Ethereum week. There, the forced selling starts again.
I agree. Which is this the line of the sand sort of deal, right? So
That's the
if we
line in
look
the
at
sand, right? I
yeah,
think so.
exactly. Because if people didn't like, these were the two flushes, the main big flushes into account right here, right?
Yeah,
So if we go,
if you didn't get caught on that, you're not going to get caught on this other bullshit, right? I think
I agree.
that's fairly good thinking there.
Because this is the first flush that happened here after, which was on the 23rd of May. And then this is the second one, which is the one that just happened. And essentially, if you take those two into account, this is
Exactly
the
so.
latest one. Like, yeah.
And I think Ethereum is the big dog chart here. I don't think Bitcoin's the big dog chart.
I agree. And let me show you the Bitcoin against our leverage, our range position, because it looks good from that regard, right? In terms of strength. This is ETC Bitcoin. So this is where we were in 15th of May, middle of May. Now we're heading towards Ethereum strength. So I think the fight right now is between Ethereum and Solana. I think that's where everything is at the moment, so to speak. But from Ethereum and Bitcoin, Ethereum looks pretty good from this perspective. I think Ethereum is going to get a lot of momentum. I can say that it's a lot of DeFi stuff that drives on Ethereum, and it's a lot of staking happening. So yeah, there's a high probability that Ethereum could keep going. That will put like that will get all the alts on track.
My number one play for Ethereum beta, as in something that's going to benefit from Ethereum catching a bid, is Peppy. It's the number one meme.
Mm-hmm.
Memes have high beta to their coins. Peppy's clearly the leading meme on ETH chain right now, with the following breeze. That's a pretty nice looking chart.
It is really good, nice looking chart. Yeah, man. Like, yeah, still holding pretty well from our entry. So I really like Pepe as well. I agree with that. Yeah.
I think if Ethereum bangs, this one's going to be the big beneficiary.
Mm-hmm. I have another two that I'm looking at in terms of if betas that I was looking on Friday. ENS as a Ethereum beta as well could
Sure.
work. And ETHFI as well. So I'm looking at those very closely because
and LDO is the other one.
Yeah, I had it right here. Yeah. So
I
LDO.
don't really care for it as a coin, a concept. If you want to be down with that crew, then fuck you too, kind of thing. But
Correct. And ETH5, these are my sort of favorite Ethereum betas plays that I can.
And Ethereum Classic is the obvious one too. I mean, I fucking hate that. Like a struggle.
I haven't even looked into my. Let's have a look at that one. Yeah, it's been a while since I looked at that one. Yeah, but that doesn't look pretty good, all right? It doesn't look pretty bullish in my like.
That's not the play.
Yeah, no. Especially with the new stuff like ENS. Well, ENS has been for a while, but it has a good sort of narrative or theory behind it, and ETHFI is brand new, so I think money will land onto those two. Long term, I don't know how it's gonna hold long term, but short term might be good place. So yeah, another thing that I was looking at for you guys, like BNB, right? So
BNB is the one I'm looking at for leverage play today.
Yep, me too. Because this is the weekly, obviously, came back from these levels. Very, very interesting that haven't been able to break those levels, but the fact that still very bullish from the weekly perspective, like it's now at
an undamaged chart is what you're trying to say. Like let's be clear about what we're saying here. We're saying that the big dump hasn't made this look bad. If you zoom out, it still looks great. And why is this? Because the cunt who owns 70% of the supply is in jail. He can't fucking sell.
Yep.
Like this is it. This is what's going on. Like, how are you going to fucking sell your tokens? Can't you're in jail?
Interesting. Yep. Interesting.
That's true. Like he ain't selling shit.
Yep, definitely. It's another play that I'm looking because obviously.
So would you use this one with a stop loss or just below the lows? Because that's a nice tight. That's a tight thing.
How do we do ATR on this one? Not yet, but here we are on this one.
You wouldn't buy it yet. You'd wait till a break of the daily bar high.
Probably. I will wait because it's sort of in a range at the moment. Yeah, with this couple of days, and it's just
I'm gonna get it on a stop limit on the bar high of 611.9 with a stop loss at 589.9.
Okay. About that, right? Yeah. That could be a good play. Yep.
I mean, you can see a 10-bagger out of that potentially.
Yeah, definitely. So from a leverage play for everyone that's watched the leverage and has the spreadsheet, you can actually calculate those. You can risk $25, $100, whatever you want to risk from here to here with your stop losses. And the fact is, You know, if you get stopped out, then you lose whatever you decided to lose. But if the play works out, let's say you risk $500 here. So if this goes going too high, so it's 500, 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, give
So
or take some.
the
Like,
position sizing is to risk $1,000. You want a $27,000 position size to have $1,000
Exactly.
Is it worth throwing $1,000 at that to make probably to make, you know, 5.5 at all-time highs? You want to bank some there, and then potentially 10 if you catch a runner. So that would be 7-ish overall on the whole position. Yeah, I would have thought that's a pretty good risk. I would have thought that's a pretty reasonable bet.
Yeah, it's not bad at all, especially with the strength that this one has, you know, for the past couple of weeks though. So I think that could be, because once it breaks this, I think it's going to go, like, this is going to go to price discovery, right? BNB now in price discovery in a way, right? So that's going to be interesting. With that being said, I've been looking at a beta play for BNB, and I
Really?
think, yeah, because it makes sense, right? Think about it
Interesting.
from the
Yeah,
perspective.
it makes a lot of sense.
So I think the best beta play that I can think of is Cake, right? So Cake obviously was this change from you know, it's built on BNB.
That's BNB
The
pancake.
Yep.
Okay. It's right at the
So
bottom of the range lows.
I know. So I think it could be riskier, just the fact that it's not holding, but have a look at this. When BNB, you know, broke above their highs, which was on the 5th of June, Cake tried to make, you know, tried to make the impulse actually even before then. So, you know, the fact that it's on these lows, it could be a really good risk reward ratio sort of play. You
So
know,
that's a pretty
kind of,
aggressive sort of a play. I mean,
yeah,
personally, I'd prefer to do it with just with leverage on BNB. If you're doing it in spot, Cake is probably the way.
yeah, I agree. Yeah, because obviously you could get, yeah, this it's very volatile. You know, this is just a risky play, but that's the theory behind it, right? Finding a beta
It's a
that
shitcoin.
actually,
It's a
yeah,
shitcoin.
it is a shitcoin. I wouldn't hold this for a long period of time, but that could be a play that could work, especially if Binance keeps getting strength. So I think that might, yeah, it is a risky play. Yeah, but that's what I'm looking at.
Wow, this is really interesting, guys. That's all you got?
No.
Please.
Have heaps of stuff. Like, all right, so let's go through the positions, because I just gonna show you where we at in terms of the weekly that we just closed. So in terms of everything that we hold, quite quickly. So
PT is
this
looking
one
great.
looking freaking great, man. Like, it hasn't even done
You know,
anything on any drops.
I haven't even logged into my Femex account since I made this position. I just like sit and forget.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. So I have that. I have this one, and yeah, keep holding that one. Pendle looks pretty solid.
I think Pendle looks great. Pendle is one that
Yeah.
people are sleeping on for sure. The TVL
Definitely.
is growing and growing and growing. Institutional traders, I know. James Chen is probably one of the best institutional traders in the country. He keeps telling me that he's got his personal account in Pendle. My mate, who's a portfolio manager for Paul Tudor Jones, he's got his PA in Pendle. So, like, serious, smart institutional traders are running their personal accounts in Pendle, getting 50% a year and saying, "Fuck it, we're done."
Yeah, and that's the thing. The other Pendle keeps adding more ways for people to actually stake, right? Their Ethereum are all, and obviously
It's fucking great. It
is great, man.
As an ease of mechanism, it's fucking great.
I know. And Ondo and
That's amazing.
same thing, right? So obviously, you know, long term, I think that the staking business is going to be really profitable. So I think Pendle is one of those things. So I think we're good on this one, like really long term on that one. Solana, yeah, looks pretty good on this one. Like,
The one I'm
yeah,
confused
definitely.
with is AR, which is actually one of my bigger positions, which
Let's
is
have a look at it. Yeah.
absolutely cunted beyond everything else. It got maximum cunted.
Mm-hmm. But it still looks good from the weekly. Obviously,
I'm not so sure about this one. I think I might have fucked this one up. I want to see what we're almost certain to get a bounce here. I want to see what that bounce is like.
mm-hmm. Let's have a look at
I mean, I understand why it got shat on so hard. It was the most popular AI coin, and in a momentum crash, the most popular things get smashed hardest. So, which we've seen a little bit with, Near, Pendle, a few other things like that.
oh, look at this. Interesting. This
Big. What's that big open interest spike there?
I know. Interesting. That's
So that's people going short. Oh, that's good.
yep. Yeah, this is
That's
good.
what you want to see.
Yep,
So
definitely.
for the guys who don't understand this stuff, when the market goes down and you see a huge increase in open interest, what it means is that people at the end of a run are all of a sudden feeling feisty enough, confident enough to get short. Guys who get short right at the end of the move are usually in the getting fucked business, not in the making money business. So all you really have to do there is just wait until someone. So that's a situation where a pebble can start an avalanche and squeeze these guys much higher and force them to cover. So you just sit back and wait for someone else to do the squeezing. Someone else will ramp that higher just to see the looks on their faces when they realize, oh fuck, we're heavily short this thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but this looks good.
I wouldn't want to be short. I wouldn't want to be short that. That's a very, very dangerous situation to be short.
Yeah, me too. If something, I would just want to be long on this one at this moment.
Yeah.
So obviously, definitely. So it looks good.
But this is the starting point for your analysis, right? Like it's not.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. I've got this spot position in AR. Do I want to be long it or do I want to be short it right here? And right now I want to be long that, so I'm okay with that. Even though I got
Cool.
cunted.
All right. INJ looks pretty good, pretty good as well. On the weekly. However, had a huge spike last week, but it's actually holding well on those on that level. So still holding that one. Right, Reagan?
Yeah, agree.
IMX.
And it was the strongest coin when we were bouncing, so there's something in that.
IMX is the only one that is kind of on the
Okay.
thinking about.
We got to close below our levels here.
Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking about either closing this one completely or closing 50%.
I think one more close. I think one more close below today's close and we're out.
All right. Cool.
Could bounce here. Like if we get a bounce
Good
here.
bounce. Yeah. Let's have a look at the IMX because that's interesting.
So guys, this is your kind of process. You go through your positions and say, am I long or am I short here? Do I want to be long or do I want to be short? And you never get yourself stuck in something that you're in that you don't want to be in. If you don't want to be in, oh, look at you.
Look at this. This is gonna be interesting.
I want to be in this.
Yeah, definitely.
So
holding that one.
So we've got an interesting situation. The weekly chart tells you to be short. The open interest chart tells you to be fucking balls long. That's a setup for some kind getting caught by surprise, which is always a setup for big moves.
Mm-hmm.
That's very interesting. I'm holding that one.
Yeah, me too. That's interesting. All right, cool. Phoenix looks pretty good as well. Obviously, we did have, it's a lot of sellers, but the fact that this went,
Oh, it's okay.
yeah, BNB obviously went over. Phil. Phil. I really like this project that Phil. So but I'm holding it from that perspective. Let's have a look at this on nothing exciting, isn't it?
So if you think this is going to kick off, how do you play? I think it's pretty clear that Ethereum is the thing to look at here, right?
I agree.
And so it should be Ethereum and Ethereum betas. So Ethereum on leverage, BNB on leverage, in spot BNB and Ethereum beta plays, Pepe and
Definitely.
like that.
Yeah, I agree. Cito,
Doesn't look
same
great.
thing.
Yeah, you probably want to give it one more week to see if it bounces here, though.
Yeah, EOS. Yeah, holding pretty well on those levels, and yeah, I'm still liking that one. Nia, yeah, holding pretty well on those levels as well. Yeah, it's just been retracements, right? W, horrible, but I think this is the line of the sand of W. Let's see, a couple more days below, and I think we're gonna start cutting that one. Ton working amazingly good, which is good.
Okay, so
Ton looks.
this is the standout, right? It's new highs when everyone else is getting fucked. And we don't have any sign of like upside exhaustion. What we've got is a clear break and hold. Ton and ton beta is probably a really, really solid play.
Yep. I was looking at this week to start getting some data on all the meme stuff happening on Ton. There's a bunch of stuff happening on Ton. So the fact that this one now is getting momentum in terms of network, I think that could be a good place for the next week. So yeah. Let's have a look. Sita. Yeah, that same thing, holding, but not really liking. If it goes below this, I'm gonna start closing that thing. Pepe, definitely holding Pepe. Yep. AI holding that one. Yeah, we're already talking about it. AVAX. It's right there on that level. Still not bad. Still not great, but still holding that one. Wave is holding pretty well right there. It's not amazingly great, but what are you?
There was a bunch of bear posting at the exact lows from big name influencers. I think WIF is Sol beta. I don't think it's fair to do the chart on WIF alone. I think you just got to look at Sol and say it's the leading meme on Sol. It's probably going to live or die as Sol lives or dies.
Cool. Yeah, I agree. I'm still holding it from the perspective that it's like you can actually see from the weekly what a bounce from those levels. So definitely it is. That could be the bottom. Could be the bottom here, and at least it could get up to that level. So yeah, still liking it. Token is been very volatile for the last couple of weeks. Very, very volatile, and this he will start getting like again Ethereum strength. I think this one will go up pretty quick. Let me have a look at this one because this one is pretty.
By the way, I just placed my limit order to go long in BNB.
Anybody that's interested in this open interest stuff, in the welcome post at the bottom, there is a like a cheat sheet for this open interest. It's broken down into like 4 quadrants. So it tells you effectively, if price is doing this and open interest is doing this, then it equals this.
You just got to work it through with your brain. Price is going down, open interest is going up. That means people are getting short right now. Price is going up, open interest is going down. People are closing their longs right now. You just got to kind of, you just kind of got to logic it out in your brain And what you're looking for is open interest should go down when price goes down. Open interest should go up when price goes up. You're looking for you're looking for things where it's not normal. You're looking for places where it catches the eye. Like, hey, that shouldn't be happening. There's a big build up here that shouldn't be happening.
Yeah, perfect example is the EMX2A. Let's have a look at that one because that's the perfect. Like this is the 4 hours, but if we zoom out to the 1 hour. This is very clear, right? This is very clear.
That's an unusually bullish pattern. So as people, so what we're seeing is, okay, price is going down, but open interest is going up. That means people adding to their shorts. Adding to the shorts at the end of a move is a very, very dangerous higher leverage thing. It puts you right out on hero territory, walking the plank. Either you win big or you lose big. If you're in a situation where you can lose big, then someone is going to tip you over. Like a little bit of buying here fucks everyone. So someone can come in and say, hey, I've got $5 million. I'm just going to jam this tape and I'm going to make $10 million because all these guys are going to be fucked. It's like a game theory.
Exactly. So yeah, this very like open interest is very, very good leading indicator, right? Which is what we. All right, so Foxy, first retracement from 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks of up. So pretty good. Obviously, we're a little bit down, but I think Foxy is the first linear in the linear network meme, so to speak. So I'm expecting that this one is going to, go pretty quick, especially when linear start operating. So I think I really like this one though. Whoop.
I don't know about this one, man.
I snaggled an entry at 26 that I was very happy with.
That's very good buying, dude.
As a longer term,
really good
Woo, yeah. I mean, I had Woo obviously a long time ago but I took some profits and that was fine. But this 26, I'm just going to hold the bag now.
I think there's some wisdom in that.
I agree. Still, Woo seems pretty like it's getting a lot of volume lately, and I think it could. I'm still holding this one.
Fuck, I'm having a kind of a time getting filled on this BNB trade. Looks like it's to run without me.
All right,
I just broke the cardinal rule of intraday trading, which is don't be a dick for a tick, and I've been a dick for a tick.
All right, chart speaks by itself, right? Like you cannot actually see a more bullish chart than this one. Looks great. Sui holding pretty well on this level.
It looks like every other chart holding pretty well on this level.
Yeah, pretty much everything the same. Kudos. Yeah, looks pretty okay. Ina, let's have a look at Ina. So Ina looks pretty good.
But I like it.
I like it a lot. Yeah, because one of those things in terms of the price, the new stuff is you can find price discovery to the upside, but they will find price discovery to the downside. What is the minimum thing that this thing will go, right? And you don't know. You don't know when people start selling their backs, right? When that's going to be. It looks like
there's a lot of staking on this coin, so that kind of affects how it works, right?
Exactly. So obviously, but then that tells you something, because if you start seeing this bottom thing, that could be your bottom on this one. You know what I mean? Could be lower, right? People are just getting tired and start selling their bags.
I think there's some comments in the chat that there's a bit of hopium going on here. I think that's probably fair. Like I think a lot of the charts that we've looked at today, they need a bit of a rising tide to float things off. I'm not necessarily as bullish as all that. What I am bullish about is I think that Ethereum is ready to squeeze people. And I think Ethereum is ready to upside on the side and start a bit of a chain reaction throughout all these shit coins.
I agree. And is gonna start moving forward, and someone says, yeah, like weekly are very important, right? Because that's the bigger picture. So if you start, and unfortunately, if you start looking at the weekly before the weekly closes, you know, if you look this probably on Thursday or last week, it was horrible. You know what I mean? Like it was
Fuck me,
like
I'm
ready
a
to close.
pick again. It's fucking BNB chart.
Let's have a look at
No.
BMV just for fun, man. Just
Yeah.
for fun.
Just fill me, you cunt. So for those of
I
you
say so.
who don't actively trade, you're trying to put a limit order in a book. Friends don't let friends use market orders, but you're trying to get a limit order filled without tipping your friendly neighborhood market maker, and the friendly neighborhood market maker is making it pretty difficult.
Interesting. I'm just looking at this in 1 hour to see how it's behaving. Looks good though. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good.
It looks really good. It looks like it wants to bang.
Yep. Let's go
Fill
back
me,
to
you cunt.
let's have a look. It looked good from the daily last week, but now this huge candle, I don't like it. You know what I mean? It's a huge, huge, huge seller.
Yeah, that looks like shit, dude.
Yeah, definitely looks bad. Let me have a look. Yeah, doesn't look like it's going to do much. I'm only half position on that one, so
What's happening here?
how
then?
interesting.
Prices.
Sorry?
So what's happening here then in that top box then? Is that price is falling and then open interest is falling at the same time?
Yeah, that's about what you want to say. It's not too bad, but we got a lot of liquidations there, so there's a lot of people shaking out.
Yeah. Yeah, this is an interesting
It's
one.
not terrible, but this is still well and truly into shitcoin territory, guys. Like none of this is going to work unless we catch a bid on the whole market.
I agree. I agree. It's all relative to Ethereum, definitely. So yeah. Once Ethereum grabs all this stuff is gonna go, man. Like I think it's pretty much, yeah.
Fuck, these market makers on Hyperliquid just won't fill me. Oh, there we go.
Vanry still looks good, like very good
That looks
retracement
good.
from the weekly. Yeah, very, very good.
What is Venry? I don't know what it is.
Ian, your expertise.
I'll go and fucking Google it. I ain't got a clue.
That's
the type of statistical rigor we bring to these trade recommendations, guys. We don't even know what like it is. I never heard of it.
Let's have a look at Jupe. Jupe looks really good. This is an exchange, really good.
It's Sol beta, man. So it's
definitely
leading Sol Dex. If Sol goes up, it's going to go up. I don't think you can view the chart in isolation. I think you view these kind of things as a leverage bet on Sol.
I agree.
So what does Sol look like? That's the big one. Looks pretty good.
Yep, looks pretty good. Pretty good from, yeah, good retracement. Yeah. Could we have like another test on these lows? Yes, definitely. But I think it looks pretty good from the bullish side of things. So yeah, Mantle looks pretty good.
That looks really good. But we need a bit of strength. We need to start breaking weekly highs here.
Yep. So and then Mark is our yeah, we enter around here roughly, give it a take. But then this one is another meme coin.
It's just another meme coin. What chain is this one on?
This one is on Ethereum, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's Ethereum.
Yeah.
I don't mind that. I don't mind that.
Yeah, this one looks good. Hasn't fallen like massively, but yeah, went half position. I might add on this one as we start seeing some strength. Yeah, that's what we have so far for this week. In terms of the new stuff that I'm looking at, I already told you, like the ENS. I'm looking at CAS. CAS was very, very strong during the pullbacks. Like this is,
That
so
looks
I'm
very
looking,
good.
yeah, this is another Ethereum
We got to be
beta.
careful about concentration here. We just can't afford to keep adding positions though.
I know. I know. That's why I'm just, yeah, that's why we risked it last week on some positions. But then yeah, definitely like this one. I like Uni. Uni looked pretty strong. Like last week, everything was down, Uni was up, right? So Uni looks pretty solid. Yeah, have a look at Uni here because it looks pretty good. So those are the ones that I'm chasing for this week. This is not bad at all.
That looks great, dude.
Hmm. Yeah, I think Uni. I was tempted to go in on Friday, but just the fact that weekend, you never know. And because from the daily perspective, and it closed really well up here. So I think Uni could have a huge potential, right? It has, we pretty far from all-time highs. Talking about 265% from all-time highs. Are we going to get all-time highs in Uni? Not sure, but it looks pretty strong. Pretty strong. Tomas, Jasmine. Yeah, I was looking at Jasmine the other day. Yeah, Jasmine was there. I wanted to get into Jasmine at this levels. He was holding pretty well. But Jasmine looks pretty good as well. Very, very strong. Really, really strong. Just don't know much about Jasmine in terms of a project. Do you know much about Jasmine, Scott?
I think it's a shit coin, dude.
Mm.
Come on, man. Come on. Be reasonable here.
There's some good projects, man. I still like some good projects though, but yeah.
It's a beautiful looking chart, but it's a shit coin.
Yeah. Yeah, let me add this into things that I'm looking for this week. Yeah, that's pretty much what I have.
Okay, so for me, I want to look at what FinRev's doing, which is I added, this is my 90 vol FinRev account, which is the one that I'm most interested in because it's the one that I'm doing stupid leverage. I added 10 here, I added 60 here, I added 20 here. And so I've got 90 in total and I'm down $7,600, but you can see that we found a bottom here. And our portfolio, XRP, biggest position. Pretty happy with being short there. What else have we got? ICP, we've already looked at that. ADA, shitcoin. Storage, OP, all shitcoins. I mean, we could get really short squeezed here because it's like, if I look at the biggest positions, it's like short. So personally, I'm a little worried about that, even though it's been working, but it's kind of good. Like FinRev's got it right and I've got it wrong lately, right? As far as the memes go, fucking Retardio really survived all. That was a very unpleasant time in the markets, and Retardio didn't break previous lows. Didn't even get anywhere close. I think it's uber bullish. And Tramp, same fucking thing. The slightest whiff of strength in the market, and we're back. Like, that is a wonderful looking chart. I think these are looking. I think the meme sector is looking like a slam dunk for the next league, if we get a little bit of strength. Liquidity is still pretty good on Trump. Market cap 107. Let's just get back to Retardio. These are the only memes I really. Actually, I like Mog. I like Michi. I like Pepe, but plenty of liquidity here. 25 million market cap. I think we can see Retardio at 500 million, which would pay for the house that I'm trying to pay for. Is the way that I feel about that. How's the high vol account gone lately? It's gone a little bit better than, let me show you, John. So these are average of 35, 40, 45, and 50. And you can see that when we're in drawdown, 50 gets tagged worse than 40, worse than 45, worse than 40, worse than 35. But now we're coming out of it. They're all tracking together pretty much, which is a good sign. Actually, let me show you one other thing. So I don't know if there's signal there, but this is our predictability of signals after 1 day, after 2 days, after 3 days, after 4 days. So our correlation with next day returns. This is just moving average crossovers. It's not the full system, but you can see we had very sticky position at the highs. I think there's some signal there. And you can see that our signals haven't been particularly predictive lately. What I want to see is these signals start to become more predictive. Yep. That's all I got, guys. Anyone else?
Awesome. Thank
Yeah,
you.
I think,
Ray.
yep.
Thank you, Scott. Great call. See
All
you
right,
in the
guys.
group.
Be good.